How to become rich? The question might sound too general. But what exactly makes people wealthy and rich? Is it about following your interests and the profession you love, or is it about luck? Can everybody become rich? If yes, how? And if no, why? Save like crazy and don't be afraid of risk. That's pretty much it. Have a decent paying W-2, live crappy a year or two, or get roommates/family and save like a madman. I admittedly make a pretty high salary, but I'm already at $150,000 in my early 30s. I'm diversifying into real estate, and that wealth will snowball into $350,000 in assets by the end of the year this year. If I keep scaling and growing by investing as much as possible, basically right up until it hurts, then over the next few years I will steadily grow my portfolio/wealth to about $500,000. And I won't even be 40 yet. Start learning now. Start investing now. And avoid the Reddit crowd that says success is impossible, bro. Spend less than you earn. Invest that difference in Vanguard index funds that track the S&P 500, and then let time do the rest. There's 3 options. Be born rich. Be extremely talented and get lucky. Make a smart investment and get extremely lucky. Be a diligent worker. Work hard, save money, keep saving, do not fall sick, do not fund your kids' education, do not travel, do not buy cars, houses, or expensive gadgets, and maybe you'll die rich. Save more than you spend and then figure out how to earn more so you can save even more. Once that's done, there's 2 approaches. Invest in index funds or ETFs and wait 40 to 50 years. Gamble. Either that or be born rich, I guess. How to become financially abundant? Simple. Go into sales. Sell things or services. Whether you make them yourself or work for someone else doesn't matter. Nothing brings wealth faster to you than people giving you money directly through sales. Whether what you're selling is hot dogs and hamburgers, soaps and lotions, clothing and shoes, medicine, technology, gadgets, etc. Or as a broker, selling goods by the ton, etc. Investing and saving is extremely slow. That's for rich people who only want to park their money and earn minimal gains on their money. If you want to make money fast, you need to be in a transactional sales business. Selling goods that move fast and are in high demand. Food and beverage, medicines, toiletries, clothing, impulse buy items, etc. Can anyone become rich? No, not everyone wants to be rich. Not everyone has the work ethic to be rich. Not everyone has the discipline and intelligence to be rich. Most people self-sabotage. Being rich is a mindset, a discipline, and an attitude before money is even involved. Gotta love all the people saying go into tech when we just had a massive layoff of tech workers. There are a ton of IT people really struggling to get by right now, especially those who just entered the field. I view wealthy and rich as 2 different things. Most of us don't need bother thinking about getting rich. The world of CEOs, pro athletes, celebrities. The world of yachts and private jets. Wealth, on the other hand, a lot more of us have the opportunity to be wealthy. Live on less than you make, save and invest the difference, and do so for 30 to 40 years. You'll be wealthy, but it won't show. You won't be buying Ferraris or Rolexes, generally speaking. A humble lifestyle working as an entrepreneur in a mid to low cost of living area. Cities drive up your cost of living as you try to match others. Entrepreneurs, if you work hard, you can employ others to work for you. Or inherit money. Everyone here is talking about investing and budgeting and forgetting that like 98% of rich people were born rich. Their families, and then they maintain it by exploiting the working class for their capital. If you invest and get comfortable-ish, cool, but you're still just one medical bill away from the streets, just like everyone else that wasn't born with a 7-figure net worth. In my opinion, it's neither about following your interests and the profession you love or luck. It's about your ability to produce money, gather wealth, your networking and connections, and about your background. All these factors contribute to becoming rich, and some people have higher chances than others. Of course, there can be examples of people who were lucky and got rich overnight or by accident, but I think that they are extremely rare exceptions. Find a good way to exploit people. All rich people got there by exploitation. Whether it's exploiting customers, business partners, investors, or employees. Or if you are mega rich, all of the above. The only way to be rich is to become part of the capital class rather than the working class. If you have a job, the best you can be is comfortable, or if you have a good job, maybe quite comfortable and retired someday. Leverage your existing wealth and connections to buy/start businesses. Use other people's money to do it. Invest in capital and assets like stock and/or real estate, and then leverage those assets to buy/start more businesses. This could get you into the millions. Or somehow get lucky by being an elite level performer or winning the lottery. If you want to become very wealthy, billions, after this, then you need to pay the workers who contribute to the success of your business the lowest wage possible. Charge consumers of your business's products as much as possible. Pay politicians, lobby groups, to make sure that worker protections are eliminated from law, and also environmental protections. Get a high-income job like lawyer, engineer, medicine, then starts investment in stock/real estate/business franchise so you could also make money while you sleep. But you also need to be born in a right family though, so they could fund you the resource to get into top-tier college, helping you financially, etc. For some reason I think it is much harder for younger generation to get richer now. The baby boomer got their houses that's around $200K now worth over $2 million. The college tuition was way cheaper, cost of living is low. Start educating yourself on personal finance. I'd start with Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad Poor Dad, What Do the Rich Teach Their Kids? First book in series for some insight, followed by The Psychology of Money. These two should introduce you to the subject, then you go from there. We were taught you have to work your whole life and you will still not be rich, but that's the beauty of working class. Becoming rich is definitely not out of reach, and it will also require hard work, but that's where you choose your hard, selling your time to an employer for a fraction of the money they make, or making your own money instead. I am on this journey too, and where 5 years ago I never thought someone like me could actually be rich, now I know I will be able to get there eventually, if all goes right, and it doesn't have to take 30 years of being super tight and saving up every penny. There are really only two paths to legitimately becoming wealthy. The first requires some degree of luck, but if you can be an entrepreneur and have a hot product, idea, or skill set, it is a path to becoming wealthy. Going into the skilled trades and then going into business for yourself can be a path to generating wealth. I find this to be a more risky prospect though, as you take on a lot of risk and much of your wealth can be tied up in your business or vulnerable to legal action. You also always run the risk of a government regulation or large competitor putting out of business. I see the more low-risk path being this. Select an in-demand field that you have an aptitude for. Technology, engineering, medicine, and so on. Get educated in that field. You will need something beyond a 4-year degree. A graduate-level degree will be the minimum point of entry, but you can be working in your field in many cases while you are working on your graduate degree. Be mindful of your loan debt during this time. Student loans can prevent you from becoming wealthy for many years, so do all you can to leverage employer-paid tuition, grants, and scholarships. Once you complete your education, you will need to pound the pavement hard. This is a critical point in your career where gaining experience managing larger teams, big projects, and large dollars is king. Once you land your position, prioritize cleaning up your debt. You should plan on being in any position no longer than 2 to 3 years. The gold watch is dead, so you can only harm yourself by staying in one place too long. Aim to be a C-suite executive somewhere between 10 and 15 years. Your best bet is to target smaller companies or government agencies to break into that first senior executive role. Then leverage that to move into a mid-sized company, and from there you can target your true wealth-building opportunity in the C-suite of a large corporation, at which point you should be at a minimum making $500K per year. Most executive roles have an average turnover between 4 and 5 years, but at this point you will be recruited into your next roles. If you put in 30 years total into this plan, you could potentially retire before 60 with several $1,000,000. Take the stock options where you can. Invest with any company that matches your investments. Max your Roth IRA as soon as you can afford to, and take care of your health, and you will live a long, happy retirement. It sounds like you're looking for an answer. In singular, you're contrasting things. Is it following your interests, or is it about luck? Truth is, there are many ways to become rich. Some people do it by following their passion. Others do it by luck. Others do it by working hard even in fields they don't particularly enjoy. Others do it by a combination of the previous. There's people that work hard all their lives and never make it. There's people who strike a gold mine in their field and get a competitive advantage. There's people that find the golden nugget and neglect to exploit it. There's people who quit just inches from finding it, just as there's people who go broke without ever finding it. One thing is certain, mastering a technical skill is not enough. You need to understand how the business operates. Cash flow, efficiency, risk. There are certain processes which are valid and common to every business in the world, from the hot dog stand in the park to the largest multinational corporation. There is no way to make it big without taking some risky bets, but you want to be as well informed as possible to make a conscious decision instead of just betting randomly on uncontrollable events. Don't use credit cards. Don't have stupid useless loans. Live within your means. Don't have car payments. Pay out of car insurance every 6 months. Pay cash for cell phone and use a cheap provider. Use cheap internet. There isn't any one way. That is a very important thing to understand. It is not a magic formula. There are some patterns that work. White-collar workers with high salaries, particularly those who are responsible with personal finance. Professionals, doctors, lawyers. Entrepreneurs, this can be ups and downs, and sometimes luck is a factor. What pattern do you think fits you? Here's a simple tip though. Your largest expense statistically is your housing. Do what you have to do in the early years to keep the percent of spending on housing low. I kept mine at 12% to 15% of my gross salary for years. It really helped get that critical mass of wealth. Most rich people are born rich, despite the fantastic self-made man mythologies they create and tell about themselves to the plebs. They all start at the very least with connections and a safe fallback that the average person doesn't have. You and I don't have the margin to dream big and take on a lot of risk because my kids will lose their home if my business fails. Richie Rich can always be bailed out by dad if his venture fails, and he's still got those connections for the next venture. To say nothing of the access to capital. I'm not saying you shouldn't try, just realize they're starting on third base and you're at home plate. Don't beat yourself up if you can't catch up. If you don't have kids/family you want to spend time with, start a business, not food industry, and pour 100 hours a week into it. If you want to be rich, you take something easy and make it even easier. Good luck. Thanks for watching and being on the road to Reddit Millionaire with us. So, what is your opinion on the topic? What is your plan to become rich? Share your thoughts. Until next one.